So I just thought maybe you should see this project before I get started. It's almost a 50-footer at this point. Hoping we can make it look a little better than that. But here's what we're going to start with. '78 Sierra Grande. This is what we're going to make a short box lowered pickup out of. It's a pretty good runner, but tranny's out of it. And it needs lots of love. Guy I got it from really loved it. Put a lot of work into it. Unfortunately, just backyard work. Fiberglass repair over rust, things like that, a couple spots. Typical cab corners. A little bit of fender. The box seemed to be pretty good. I noticed on the passenger side, there was a few spots that needed some attention. You can kind of see it in the light here. He's got some mud in here, but it seems real shallow, real thin, so I don't know what that's all about. And it's always the passenger side that's got dents and problems. So we'll work on that. And there's I don't know, your typical problem. So there she is. We'll get her in the shop here in a little bit and actually get started on. Okay, so we got the pickup in the garage. First thing I noticed that's a small problem is the tires on here are 31-inch tall, which is way too tall for what we're gonna do. So the concern is, I'm gonna lower this 5.5 inches approximately. The top of the tire to the inner fender right now is about 4.5. So that creates a problem. We're gonna have to put some different tires on it while we're doing the work. First thing we're gonna do after we change the tires is lower it. I'll order the parts and they'll be here in a few days. And so the reason I'm changing the tires is so I can have a more accurate before and after measurements. And right now the front is at 32 inches and the rear is 32.5. Just changing the tires alone is going to change that dramatically. It's going to be about 4 inches different minimum from where it is now to where with the other tires that I can actually lower the pickup without tires rubbing. And it's not so much I'm worried about rubbing, I won't have an accurate measurement because the inner fender is going to sit on top of the tire and won't let the suspension drop all the way. And meanwhile, we'll pull the bumpers off, just get them out of the way for later. I'll have time between now and getting the parts. So as soon as we get the parts, we'll have something really good to show. All right, thanks. Well, here we are. I've been putting tires on here. I talked about the old tires being too tall. And just to show you a comparison, this is the old tire that was on that pickup. And we mounted up some shorter tires that are about the same size as what we plan on putting on here. But you can see how much difference there was. And like I was saying, on the front, there was no way we'd lower it and get it down lower than the height of this tire. So we definitely needed smaller tires, especially to get accurate before and after measurement. So I've got 3 of them put on there. Get the last one put on. And we'll lower this thing down and get an accurate measurement for a before measurement. Then we'll know when we lower it exactly how much we lowered it, and we can make sure it's accurate between front and rear, or at least where we want it. And so the front before was 31.5 and the rear was 32. So the front right now is at 29.5 and the rear is right at 30. So that was 2-inch change. You know, we got 2 inches lower just by changing tires. Now when we do our suspension, we'll get this down here where we want it. You know, we're shooting for 5.5 inches. Well, 5.5 will put us right there. That'll put the fender just below the top of the tire, which will look pretty good. That's about where we want it. So next step, we'll start tearing into it. I think we'll start at the rear. Not 100% sure yet, but I think we'll start at the rear. We got a few parts and pieces over here I can show you. Next part, I'm going to clean things up as we go and paint them so that I don't have to redo it again later. I'm still going to pull the bed off. We're going to make this Shortbox conversion, and that'll be the next. We'll get the suspension done, get a measurement, know what we did for lowering, and then we will tear into the box. That'll be a whole new fun, exciting project. Shortening the frame first and then tackling the box. So, well, here's a few of the parts that I got. They're for later, but I just wanted to show you. So I got some of these headlight bezels. They're really nice. They're actually plastic. They're not the die cast, but they're really nice. I'm actually surprised how nice they are. So I got a set of those. I've got cab corners that need replaced. So I got some new cab corner pieces, and they're only like $16 a piece. So I got one for each side. I don't remember how much the, well, I don't need to remember. The headlight bezels, they were $29 for the set. Pretty good deal. And then I got, last one I did, I replaced the hinge pins and the cab striker pins, the door latch striker pins. These babies. They're pretty cheap, and it's a nice repair, and also this looks so much better. And then I got gaskets for door handles, door locks, all that kind of stuff. And then the dash cover, I'll show you that. It was $109, well, $110. And if you've never used these or actually looked at them, the last pickup I did, I got it for that, knowing it was okay. But these things are fabulous. They look great on a rig. You know, they've got the holes and all the shapes. And you just got to prep your dash for it, your old dash. And basically it comes with some silicone to glue it down. The instructions show you just kind of dab it around a few places, and you just put this on here really nice and make sure it's got some rags or something wadded up between the dash and it to hold it down. And they look great. I mean, it's really a nice touch. So that's what I have. I still need to get a few more parts. We have got a bed. For this one, we're gonna shorten the bed and do that conversion, and we'll do that later, some other time. But I picked this up for $300, so $300 versus the hours I'd have to put into the other box to get this pickup done. With the step side, I think it'll look pretty nice. So that's where we're going. And this is in really great shape. The wood's rotted, and there's just one rust spot and a couple of dents. Be easy fix. Another project.